Hello, and thanks for joining us this Sunday on your channel of choice, Africa Independent Television AIT. Let me welcome you to this edition of the Signature Show. Your regular host, Chief Nwabueze Njoku, is on holidays, so I am here to fill in the gap. Well, it promises to be an interesting and exciting program. My name is Marvelous Obomman. And now, in this edition of the program, 2023 election integrity as a major fault line. New Naira, the scarcity is biting harder. Who is demarketing Imo State? A deserving honor to a humanist. Plus, our thank you. You will enjoy every moment you invest with us. Please do stay with us.
A new day has finally come for citizens with disabilities in Nigeria. You can now participate in the electoral processes without any worry whatsoever. The new Electoral Act of 2022 has made robust provisions to ensure persons with disabilities are not left out of the electoral process. The Disability Act and the Electoral Act has mandated INEC to provide special assistance for citizens with disabilities at the polling booth. As a citizen with a disability, you are entitled to non-discrimination, priority voting, braille ballots for the blind, magnifying glasses for albinos, election day instructions to support the deaf, among other provisions. So, when you arrive at your polling unit on election day, all you need to do is present yourself to the polling officer in charge and you will be given the required support. It is your right by law. Now, nothing can stop you from being part of the electoral process. You are a citizen, and with your voter's card, you are one of the owners of Nigeria. Go out and make your voice heard as we recruit those that will serve us on election day. This message is brought to you by the Campaign for Equal Voting Access, a program of the Center for Citizens with Disabilities, with support from MacArthur Foundation.
Before we begin the program, let me remind you that it is 20 days to the 2023 election, and the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has constantly told Nigerians that there was no going back on the date of the election, and that the Commission is ready for the election. But are Nigerians really ready, since getting the permanent voter cards remain an issue for many? The resident electoral commissioner in Lagos State, Olusegun Agbaje, says those who moved from the southeast to Lagos are the ones who have issues with the collection of their permanent voter cards. Instead of doing a transfer, they registered afresh, thereby running foul of INEC guidelines and, of course, disenfranchising themselves. But beyond collection of PVCs, what is the integrity level of the entire process by INEC toward a credible election? Nwabueze Njoku spoke with INEC National Commissioner Festus Okoye and Samson Itodo of Yaga Africa.
Festus, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Great. This morning was interesting, and one issue kept resounding, and that is INEC comfortable with the preparations it has made in respect of the integrity of this election?
We are comfortable with where we are as at present. Right from beginning, we knew that Nigerians expect so much from us. And based on what Nigerians expect from us, we started preparations very early. As far as the Commission is concerned, there's no activity that is too small to be planned. And we have been planning, and we've been planning well. There are two basic instruments, so to say, that we need for this election. One, the INEC voter enrollment device, which we configured and used for voter enrollment. Secondly, is the BVAS, which we have to deploy to the 176 8,846 polling units, and also have redundancies in the 8,809 registration areas. As far as the Commission is concerned, we have already taken delivery of the BVAS for over 27 states of the Federation. And we are confident that by December, we are going to take delivery of the remaining BVAS for all the states of the Federation. Not only that, we are also going to conduct what we call mock accreditation in all the senatorial districts of Nigeria before the 2023 general election. We have also started robust training of our registration area support staff. These are the people who are going to be in charge of making sure that nothing goes wrong with the BVAS and the INEC Result Viewing Portal on election day. We have also launched the portal for harvesting of youth corps members and other students of federal tertiary institutions that are going to assist the Commission in the conduct of election. And as has been pointed out, we need almost 1.4 million ad hoc staff for this particular election. And so we are already harvesting them. We have also started what we call major and minor renovation of both our local government offices and our state offices, getting them ready for this election. The voting cubicles for the conduct of election, the ballot boxes are already in place. And so in terms of our preparations, we are very comfortable. On the 26th day of February 2022, we rolled out the timetable and schedule of activities for the 2023 election. And we had 14 activities therein. Out of that 14, we have already implemented 9. And so we are comfortable with where we are, and we are confident that we are going to conduct a very good election in 2023.
Some of your offices that have suffered vandalism, what are you doing about them?
Well, we've had a meeting with the security agencies under the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security, relating to the safety and security of our offices, relating to the safety and security of our staff. The security agencies have agreed to beef up security in all our offices and assets. So we are going to have a team made up of the police, the army, the DSS, the Federal Fire Service, and other security agencies around our 774 local government offices and our state offices. They have also agreed to upscale intelligence gathering, sharing, and utilization around this particular period until we are through with the elections. So we are confident that some of those attacks will definitely stop because security has been beefed up in our local government and state offices.
Those burnt, are you fixing them?
Well, there are some of our offices that are burnt beyond repairs. For those ones, we don't have time to repair them now. And so we are going to rent temporary offices that we are going to use maybe for a year or two, pending the time we rebuild the offices. Those ones that can be surveyed, we are going to survey them and then continue with the electoral business in those areas.
Now, you have begun your display of voter register around the country. INEC announced some time back that you have almost 95 million Nigerians going to vote. Are you displaying the entire 95 million, or are you displaying those that were just recently registered?
We are displaying a register, a provisional register containing around 93 million names. During the continuous voters registration exercise, those who carried out valid registration stood at around 9.5 million. And then going into the 2019 general election, we had almost slightly over 84 million registered voters. So we integrated both of them, making it over 93 million registered, provisionally registered voters. That is what we have displayed in the 774 local government areas of Nigeria and in the 8,809 registration areas. We have also uploaded the entire register on our website, and we have also made provision and protocols around which people can make their claims, make their objections, and also lay their complaints. And so at the level of the local governments and the level of the registration areas, we have revision officers and assistant revision officers. These are the people who are going to handle complaints and also advise people on the type of form they need to fill, and also assist them for those who cannot read or write in filling those forms. At the level of our website, the protocols, the entire protocol for making claims, for making objections, and also for making laying complaints are also uploaded there. And so people can go to our website and do the needful. And we assure them that the moment people follow the rules and follow the procedures for claims and objections. We are going to do the needful as an electoral management body to make sure that we have a clean, robust and comprehensive register that contains only the names of those who are qualified to be on the register.
Now, in the course of registration, or in fact immediately after, people raise complaints about fake faces, foreign names, underage. Are you cleaning the register to clear those ones?
Yes, what we have done is that during the process of registration, immediately the registration ended, we deployed what we called our automated biometric identification system to use in cleaning up the voters register. And this ABIS was used to remove double and multiple registrants from our register. And at the end of the day, we removed over 2 million double and multiple registrants. We also engage in what we call manual adjudication. In other words, if we see a picture and a registration that is patently foreign, we do manual adjudication and remove that particular name. If we see visibly underage registration, we did manual adjudication and remove those ones. But the law, Section 19 of the Electoral Act, still demands of the Commission to also give Nigerians the opportunity, the chance to also look at what we have done, look at the register and see whether those who are supposed to be on the register are on the register, to see whether their names have been properly spelled, whether their particulars have been properly captured, and if they have not been properly captured, to give them an opportunity of doing the needful. That's exactly what we have done. So we really plead with Nigerians to assist the Commission clean up the voters register further, because it's only through this collaborative work, through this partnership, that we can do the needful in making sure that the voters register, which is the foundation of the electoral process, is robust.
In order for somebody to put a fake name, a foreign name, to put underage person, that such people want to undermine the job of INEC. Is INEC under pressure to compromise the 2023 election?
No, we are not under pressure to compromise the 2023 election. During voters registration exercise, sometimes we employ over 4,000 staff, both regular staff of the Commission and ad hoc staff of the Commission to carry out this particular exercise. And for each registration that is done, the registration officer is given an access code to our platform. So the moment you carry out any malicious registration, it records that you are the one that carried out the malicious registration. As at present, some INEC staff are undergoing disciplinary procedures in relation to what they did during the registration exercise. And all those who are found wanting will definitely be dealt with in accordance with the law. And those who have committed criminal infraction, we are going to make sure that we also prosecute them. But in terms of pressure from outside on the Commission to compromise the 2023 election, I don't think that anybody can compromise this election, because our allegiance is to the people of this country. The people of this country expect us to conduct a good election. The people of Nigeria want us to use the BVAS for voter accreditation and authentication, and we are going to use the BVAS. The people of this country want us to transmit polling unit level result through our result viewing portal in order to guarantee transparency. And we are going to transmit polling unit level results into our INEC result viewing portal for Nigerians to see what we have done. Nigerians also expect us to train our ad hoc staff and train them well, and that's exactly what we are doing. Nigerians want us to make polling units accessible to them and also decongest existing polling units. We have already done that, and we have decongested the polling units and taken some of these polling units closer to the people. So in terms of what is expected of us, we are marching forward. We are not where we want to be, but we are making gains.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this opportunity.
Yeah, welcome to the conversation.
Very much, thanks.
The challenge of having integrity in elections. With the kind of people in Nigerian politics, the way the political parties are playing it, are you afraid that Nigeria may not really get integrity in its elections?
Well, there's every reason to be concerned that the probability or the chances of ensuring electoral integrity are very slim. And this had been a permanent feature of Nigeria's electoral process since return to democracy. And we've had a checkered political history. And year in, year out, where the clamor for electoral reform has not ceased. And the reason is you have a political class that is determined to seize political power without fidelity and respect for democratic ethos and principles. You have a crop of politicians who don't believe in credible elections. They believe that it's a do or die affair to secure political power. And so democratic institutions are undermined and attacked, to a large extent even decimated, because they don't want to be held to account. So you have politicians who love political power, care less about legitimacy, but they just are interested in access to our resources. And it's not about the common good. And so it explains it all. But are there efforts to ensure the integrity of the electoral process? There have been concerted efforts, and I give it to citizens, because citizens have been at the heart of demanding that their votes will count. It's not the politicians, it's citizens who have been demanding that their votes will count.
Now, in this multiplicity of actors, one thing should be driving them: a certain set of values. If people believe and act in accordance with the values to which they subscribe. When all of us got together to chase out the military, we seem to have left a vacuum. That vacuum seems to be that there was no effort in chasing out the military to create an electoral value, a political value. So when the military was chased out, float SAMs, jet SAMs, 419ers, people who could buy into power, hijacked the space. And they seem to be the commanding heights of determining our political value today. Did we make an error in just chasing out the military without creating a preceding electoral value, political value, to drive what we have today?
I wouldn't frame it as an error. I will frame it as a gap. And secondly, there wasn't enough conversation. Because the only opportunity that people and citizens had was to negotiate a new constitution that was centered on certain principles. But were citizens given the opportunity to do so? No, because the military teleguided the entire constitutional amendment and constitutional review process. The whole 1998 to 1999 constitution, for the most part, the 1999 constitution as amended is a replica of the 1979 constitution. And if you check the Constituent Assembly and how they were constituted, you still had military influence. And so to a large extent, the people were not given that opportunity because there were still vestiges of the old order that shaped the conversation. What is a conversation if it's not open, if it's not inclusive, and if it's not based on certain principles? And that's the principles of objectivity, the principles of the courage to speak truth to power. So I wouldn't frame that as an error. Have there been opportunities in the last 23 years of democratic experience where we had an opportunity to renegotiate? There has been. But like you identified, the political space is saturated by individuals who have no respect and regards for values. And I think that what is critical at this moment is citizens are beginning to take power back, from this microscopic or the top 1%. But now citizens are asking fundamental questions. If you look at the forthcoming elections, or let's even look at the electoral law, when these same actors decided to delete electronic transmission of results from the electoral bill, when they decided to undermine INEC's power, when they removed from some provisions in the act, citizens pushed back. They had no choice but to reverse themselves. That was a unique opportunity, and it's a demonstration of how citizens are exerting them and asserting themselves.
At present, how involved is the Nigerian thinking class in creating political value, in creating citizen buy-in, in designing citizen expectation?
In terms of the thought process, Nigeria is not bereft of thought leadership. It's not. There have been several constitutional conferences. There have been several attempts, to redesign what Nigeria is, reimagine Nigeria. But the big question still lies with the political will to implement. And I think it goes beyond the political will to the courage to take difficult decisions that will fix the development crisis as well as the leadership crisis that Nigeria faces. The engine room, the lab, the theater where intellectuals are formed, they are nurtured, and they exhibit and produce, resources that shape statecraft, our academic institutions. And you and I know what the education system is actually grappling with. And it does require reforms because you have a political class that believes that their continuous stay in power is dependent on how they oppress, how they repress, and how they limit the potential that the country actually has and not harness them. Always a delight. Thank you.
When you visit ATM centers across the country today, you will see long queues, people pushing and fighting to get access to their money. The situation is not different in the banking halls. POS operation has become one of the most lucrative informal enterprises in Nigeria. With just 200,000 naira cash, you can make 20,000 naira in 20 minutes. POS operators, therefore, are making a kill, charging 1,000 naira for every 10,000 naira you withdraw. The POS operators are not alone in this selling of the new naira. Last week, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, arrested an actress, Simisola Gold, for selling the new naira notes. There are also unconfirmed reports that in Borno State, some bandits were stopping travelers on the highway and giving them large sums of the old note. If there is any atom of truth in this story, it then means that the CBN governor, Godwin Emefiele's statement that bandits had so much of the naira in their possession is true. This Sunday, our closer look is on the new naira, the scarcity and the challenges Nigerians are facing, anchored by our correspondent, Nasiru Usman. Please stay with us.
Nigerians are facing two intense challenges. One is scarcity of petrol. For this, many Nigerians slept at fuel stations. The other is scarcity of cash. As the Central Bank of Nigeria makes effort to solve the cash squeeze challenge, the situation is not abating. Rather, the situation has brought out the beast in us. Some societies have got the process right and it is working for them. Many then wonder if the fault is in our stars, our DNA, or in ourselves that we keep getting things wrong. On Thursday, 2nd February 2023, at the ministerial briefing in Abuja, the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, explained that the persisting cash scarcity and its attendant pains to Nigerians as a result of the introduction of redesigned Naira notes should be seen as a temporary sacrifice to achieve long-term economic sanity.
We're not happy that citizens have to queue and struggle at bank ATMs to be able to get their cash. But this is a temporary solution. Let me just give you an analogy. If you have a wound, for you to be able to heal that wound, it needs to be dressed. And sometimes when you go to the hospital, they'll put iodine on the wound, and it is very painful. But it's necessary to do that to be able to get the wound to heal. So it's not easy, and Mr. President is not happy that citizens are really suffering.
However, the Central Bank of Nigeria has directed banks to commence paying customers new Naira notes over the counter and to reduce queues around automated teller machines, ATM, across the country. But this situation is different, as banks claim that the Apex Bank did not make new Naira notes available to them in sufficient quantity to meet the demands of the people. Later, the excuse has changed to faulty automated teller machines. What are the supervisory officials of the Apex Bank doing?
Now be say they want loan me money, now me get my money where I want collect. So it's a really bad idea for this our Nigeria now. Wahala dey, sick we for the ATM to reach DSF now, it's a really wahala. That's the way no shop belle full now. You can't stay to collect money for ATM.
And this is just 5,000. I can't collect more than 5,000, and I'm paying 500 per 100 per 1,000, and this is even the best you can get around. Last week we suffered to pay it in, and this week we are suffering to even withdraw it. I don't know what again. We are suffering to transfer. We are suffering. I don't know what we want to do again in this country.
What is going on? That's what I want our leaders to tell us. What is going on in this country? Is that how they want us to live in this our nation? What do they want for us? What do they want? How long all this is going to continue? I don't understand. Are you telling me now that all judges, they don't know what is going on? Is the CBN governor they hold this country? Are they putting them for work for us, or for work for himself? And do you have sitting president? So please, there needs something to be done immediately.
This one you are seeing in my hand now, I got it from somebody that operates in filling station this morning, 100,000 naira, and the person charged me 5,000 naira. And I was not supposed to do it, but for the sake of business, for the sake of my business, I have to do it. I have to collect the money. If I don't collect the money today, I will be at home. I will be spending, no income. Are you getting it? If I spend what is in my hand, tomorrow I'll become something else. You can get what, if you get what I'm saying. That's why I have to work out. Whoever that want to satisfy me with any little amount we negotiate, I collect it.
Even as it is, you yourself looking at the ATM, you'll be discouraged to want to go and queue. Then if you stand in that ATM, that means it is tomorrow before you collect money. Because with what you are seeing now, you'll be discouraged to use the ATM. So even if the POS is collecting exorbitant rates on every withdrawal, you prefer to do what you want to do here so that you can go and do your normal daily business.
On 1st February 2023, the Independent Corrupt Practices Commission, ICPC, arrested Omoshenyi Oluwadarasimi Esther and actress Simisola Gold. Also, last Thursday, a task force of central bank officials and security operatives arrested some bank officials in Bauchi for holding and trading in new Naira notes. Due to the continued scarcity of new Naira notes, governors elected on the platform of the ruling APC visited President Muhammadu Buhari last Friday after the governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, said that some elements in the presidency contrived the situation to cause the party to lose the forthcoming elections. Similarly, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has alleged that the Naira redesign cash withdrawal limit and the current cash scarcity was contrived to achieve a political objective.
I believe that there are elements in the bill that want us to lose the elections because they didn't get their way. They had their candidate. Their candidate didn't win the primaries. And I think they are still trying to get us to lose the elections. And they are hiding behind the president's desire to do what he thinks is right.
On Tuesday, 31st January 2023, the Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, appeared before the ad hoc committee of the House of Representatives and stated that the policy was getting the naira back into the financial system and out of the hands of others. He also announced that banks can issue the new currency across the counter to customers. Godwin Emefiele had on 29th January 2023 met President Muhammadu Buhari in his hometown Daura, Katsina State, after which he announced the extension of the deadline from January 31st, 2023 to February 10.
We have today sought and obtained Mr. President's approval for the following. 1. A 10-day extension of the deadline from January 31, 2023 to February 10, 2023 to allow for collection of more old notes.
As the CBN struggles to get hold of the situation, the naira scarcity is making POS operation a current lucrative business, with Nigerians having to pay between 500 and 1,000 naira commission from every 5,000 or 10,000 naira old or new currency. In Abuja, Nasir Usman for Signature Show.
There is a popular saying that when a man is diligent in his business, he will stand before kings and not mean men. Success attracts commendation and accolades, while failure gets easily orphaned. This is the summary of what happened last week as two non-governmental organizations visited the headquarters of Signature TV in Abuja. One, to give the Chief Executive Officer Signature TV, V. Martin Obiora Ilo, an award, and the other to commend Corruption Tory for its contribution in the fight against corruption. And now the report. A non-governmental body, National Forum for Youth and Women Education Development, has commended giant strides of Signature TV in the fight against corruption through its local language program, Corruption Tory. The organization gave the commendation in Abuja when it presented Mrs. Ladi Kwali Award for Platinum Leadership to the Chief Executive Officer of Signature TV, V. Martin Obiora Ilo. The award, according to the coordinator of the organization, Lami Ehi, was anchored on Ilo's giant strides, accomplishment in journalism, contribution to societal development and humanity. Lami, who led the team to present the Platinum Leadership Award at the offices of Signature TV, extolled the virtues of V. Martin Obiora Ilo and urged him to keep raising the bar.
We have observed with key interest your contributions to the media industry, to journalism, professionalism, nation building, enviable achievement, private sector, experience in manifold capacity via years of service. Your performance has deserved every accolade as a guru in the media industry. Your performance here in this organization, professional competence, track record, career achievement, you have become a pillar of hope to the Nigerian youth, Nigerian women, and the less privileged of Nigeria.
Ilo, while receiving the award, expressed his excitement that the organization, which he did not have any relationship with, identified him and found him worthy to be so honored. He advised the organization, which focuses on youth and women empowerment, not to sit on the fence, but encourage their members to join the political process and contribute meaningfully to national development.
Politics is not dirty. It is us that play that make it dirty. It's not enough to sit down and say, I'm advocating for women. I'm advocating for youths. If you're a member of the House of Assembly, or even a councillor, or even in the House of Reps, your advocacy will be times 1 million. Because you're going to use the power of that office to do your advocacy. Let's not leave our country in the hands of people that do not mean well for our country.
Earlier in Enugu, Ilo was also honored with another leadership award by the Enugu Project Initiative, organizers of the annual Leadership Beyond Politics Summit and Awards. The convener of the group, Ekene Uzodimma, said at the presentation that the summit was designed to bring in critical stakeholders to deliberate on issues concerning Nigeria's development and also to recognize few Nigerians who have challenged the status quo in Enugu politics and have contributed to the state's development. He said the Signature TV team leader was specially recognized for his untiring contribution to the growth of Enugu State and his impactful and distinguished 4 decades career in the media industry. In a similar development, a non-governmental organization, Youth Advocate for Peace, Justice and Empowerment Network, YABJIN, says the fight against corruption is not meant only for government and its agencies, but for all Nigerians. The president of YABJIN, Timothy Nwachukwu, made a statement when he visited the headquarters of Signature Television, producers of the famous anti-corruption television program Corruption Tori on Wednesday in Abuja. He commended Corruption Tori for reaching out to those in the grassroots who are the real owners of Nigeria and breaking the corruption message in a simplified local language. He also called for collaboration between the two organizations to take the anti-corruption message to another level.
Fighting corruption is not exclusive to the anti-corruption agencies, and that is why myself, Ambassador Timothy Nwachukwu, the President, Youth Advocate for Peace, Justice and Empowerment Network, YABJIN, is here today to seek the collaboration of Signature TV, the producers of anti-corruption Tori program, to see how we can work together to create more awareness about what is already on ground, what they're doing already, and to get more Nigerians on board.
Receiving the guest at the offices of Signature TV, the Chief Executive Officer of Signature Communications Limited, V. Martin Obiora Ilo, thanked YABJIN for finding it worthy to identify with Signature TV.
When we started with our campaign, people you find them, they don't understand what we're talking about. But with this program, Corruption Tori, they suddenly are understanding the implications of corruption. When they put a councillor that's not performing, they now realize that it's costing them a lot of democracy dividends, as we call them in Nigeria.
The group and other organizations that are partnering with Signature TV is a testament to the fact that Corruption Tori is touching the lives of Nigerians, especially those in the rural communities.
A new day has finally come for citizens with disabilities in Nigeria. You can now participate in the electoral processes without any worry whatsoever. The new Electoral Act of 2022 has made robust provisions to ensure persons with disabilities are not left out of the electoral process. The Disability Act and the Electoral Act has mandated INEC to provide special assistance for citizens with disabilities at the polling booth. As a citizen with a disability, you are entitled to non-discrimination, priority voting, braille ballots for the blind, magnifying glasses for albinos, election day instructions to support the deaf, among other provisions. So, when you arrive at your polling unit on election day, all you need to do is present yourself to the polling officer in charge and you will be given the required support. It is your right by law. Now, nothing can stop you from being part of the electoral process. You are a citizen, and with your voter's card, you are one of the owners of Nigeria. Go out and make your voice heard as we recruit those that will serve us on election day. This message is brought to you by the Campaign for Equal Voting Access, a program of the Center for Citizens with Disabilities, with support from MacArthur Foundation.
When a state known for luxury, enjoyment, and nightlife, Imo State, turns to a subject of insecurity, it becomes necessary to ask why. Last Thursday, gunmen killed the chairman of Ejemekuru Customary Court, Nnemeka Uboma, in the Oguta local government area of Imo State. The judge was said to have been killed while presiding over a court section. The killing reportedly brought the section to an abrupt end as lawyers, court staff, and litigants fled. This latest killing compels us to return to the question we raised last Sunday. Who is demarketing Imo State? Please stay with us.
How we got to this very sorry pass is very unfortunate. You see, because our politicians have become very desperate to govern the people, which ordinarily ought to be a free demonstration of people's mandate given to you to govern them or to administer on their common goal or common collective aspiration. But having said that, the state government is working assiduously to ensure that there is peace, security of life and property during and after, before, during and after the elections. When you talk about insecurity, the voter apathy, definitely it will affect the turnout of voters have their lives, and they will also have their property secured as they plan to go for the election and exercise their franchise, because we need to form a new government, and we need to form a new government to come on board, and is a certain and is a must, is an obligation we must fulfill. Yes, I know that some non-state actors making effort to ensure that they sabotage the process, but the resolution of the people will take preeminence and will prevail at the end of the day. At the advent of this administration, some political actors in the state swore that they will make Imo State ungovernable for distinguished Senator Hope Uzodinma when they tried every possible means to get a review of the Supreme Court judgment. And when they failed, what they did was to ensure that they mobilized all non-state actors to constitute nuisance in the state in a way to discredit the popularity of the Uzodinma-led administration in Imo State. But unknown to them, they did not know that you cannot control or determine the scale of rascality, the scale of insecurity. No, it may get out of hand. When it gets out of hand, you may not be unable to control it. There are opposition elements in the state who are providing soft land for these non-state actors. When these state security agents arrest or apprehend an alleged or a suspect, the opposition political parties in the state will begin to term them innocent citizens, innocent youths, that the state government is harassing innocent youths. So they become sympathetic to non-state actors. They become sympathetic to people who have criminal mindsets to terrorize the state. Some people vowed that since they have missed the football, that they will not miss their foot. So since they missed the government house, they will make government house, they will make Imo ungovernable for the state government. The essence of what they are doing in Imo today is to discredit the popularity of and the genuine intentions of the APC-led administration of the Tinubu Senator Hope Uzodinma. That's what they are doing, and they are doing it very well. Let me tell you, 3 years after, between 2000 and 2000 and today, the Hope Uzodinma administration has convened 7 stakeholders meetings. 7 stakeholders meetings across party line by different captain of industries in attendance, traditional rulers in attendance, political actors in attendance. Ask me how many of these stakeholders meetings has this attended? Ask me how many of these stakeholders meetings have the PDP, the habitual PDP governorship candidate or PDP governorship aspirant, how many of them have they attended? So let me tell you, they want to burn down Imo State to give Hope Uzodinma a bad name. But they forget that for you to govern Imo State, there must be Imo first before you become a governor. When we say that insecurity in Imo State is contrived, we are not missing words. and that what happened at the country home of the PDP candidate in Idato Federal Constituency cannot invalidate that claim. And let me tell you, Governor Hope Uzodinma is the first governor in our history that his house was vandalized. His house was burned down. The Commissioner for Justice and Attorney General in Imo State have suffered the same fate twice. The President General of Ohanaeze Ndigbo that just died a few days ago has his house in the village attacked. The Commissioner for Lands, the Commissioner for Works has also been attacked. Our House of Assembly candidate, our House of Assembly member, from one of the local government from Oluzon, had his house burnt down, his security man killed, and so many other people has been so affected. As a political party, we have lost over 20 ward officers. We have lost over 20 ward women leaders from Oluzon. We have lost so many community PGs. Anybody identified as APC member in the state, particularly in Oluzon, becomes a target for elimination. And I want to tell you, in all these erroneous acts and incidents, there was never a day that PDP as a political party rose in condemnation of all these atrocious acts. They never condemned it. Whenever the state government and state security agencies arrest anybody suspected to be member of the ECN or whatever they call it, political party, will rise in defense of non-state actors. So today, the baby lion they brought home has metamorphosed into a full-fledged lion. Now everybody's on the run.
There is a security outfit being operated by Governor Hope Uzodinma. Nobody knows the command structure of that security organization. Nobody knows his uniform. Nobody knows the personnel. All you hear about is that there's a Bubago, and the Bubago keeps on committing atrocities. You know about the 14 persons that were killed in Awamama from Otulu, and the community sources said they saw people who operated like a Bubago assassinating them, only for the governor to say that, oh, they are bandits, they are terrorists, they are this and that. These were wedding guests, people who accompanied their friend to a wedding ceremony. On their way back, they were rounded up and assassinated by a Bubago operatives. So all of these have all contributed to the tension you now have in Imo State. That's why as a political party, we have insisted that for us to have free and fair election in an atmosphere that people can be confident of the credibility of the exercise, a Bubago must be disbanded. If you have a Governor Hope Uzodinma who has done well to win the heart of Imo people, you could have also achieved legitimacy through that. So having failed to perform and execute any tangible project that could win the heart of the people, he now resorts to violence, the use of state apparatus, the use of state machinery, the state resources, all the instruments of state power to intimidate Imo people and to cow them into submission. And as a opposition party, we have told Imo people that this will be resisted and it will never happen. I can tell you that the Bubago you're hearing is a militia force directly under the command of some operators within the government house. If it is a security organization that is supposed to work for Imo people, I should know about it. Now, what we know is that most of the people called the Bubago security personnel are from Rivers State. These are not even our people. They come on a hit operation and they leave as soon as they are done with that. And you are telling me that there's an establishment? No, it does not exist. What you have is a hatchet operation being carried out by some persons close to the governor. That's what's going on in Imo State. Everything I've spoken to you today is well known to Imo people. Remember, there was a time son-in-law to the former governor of Imo State, Senator Rochas Okorocha, was abducted from a church service in his village. Senator Hope Uzodinma came out to say that the so-called unknown gunmen in Imo State are in the government house of Imo State, and they are the Bubago you are hearing about. Remember that just 1 week ago, precisely last Saturday, the spokesperson of opposition coalition CUPP, and who is also the candidate of my party for Idato Federal Constituency, Ikenge Imo Gochinyen, was attacked 3 persons murdered, about 32 vehicles bombed down, including his uncle killed. And he escaped death by a whisker. And what did the governor do? He came out, oh, Kumbaya, I saw an agreement between Ikenga Imogochinyere and the unknown gunmen that elections will not hold. And the Ikenga violated the agreement by proceeding with elections. And that's why the unknown gunmen attacked him. Can you imagine the kind of infantile explanation a governor of the state is giving about the attack on his own citizens? So this is what you have in Imo State, where the government even rejoices over some of these attacks. Last week, the governor celebrated his 3 years in office. And one of the comments he made right on the pulpit is that he is surprised that opposition elements in Imo State are not being attacked. You can imagine this kind of thing, that the people being attacked in Imo are mostly members of his party. So he's even encouraging the so-called unknown government to go after his enemies. And he's even regretting that all of us in the opposition have not been wiped out from the surface of the earth.
And now for our thank you. Back in the 90s, the name Venno Marioge was on the lips of every music-loving Nigerian. Her song, Nigeria Go Survive, was seen as rallying call for patriotic Nigerians to rescue what was then perceived as a drowning nation. Almost 4 decades later, the song remains a call for patriotism. This Sunday, we present Venno Marioge in this dancehall anthem, Nigeria Go Survive.
If them take for oil, even if them burn the oil, Nigeria go survive. I say if them drink the oil, no matter how them try, Nigeria go survive. I roots them strong for ground, ancestors no go gree, Nigeria go survive. The God of thunder and lightning, unite and shield Nigeria. Nigeria go survive. Nigeria go survive. Africa go survive. My people go survive. Oh, Nigeria go survive. Nigeria go survive. Africa go survive. My people go survive. Oh, Nigeria go survive. Andrew, no check out, oh. Say what? Stay and build your country. Nigeria go survive. Now who go die for you, oh? Blood is thicker than water. Nigeria go survive. If Andrew do him work, oh, and me I do my own, oh, Nigeria go survive. If our leaders do them best, oh, Andrew go stay to help, oh, Nigeria go survive. Nigeria go survive. Africa go survive. My people go survive, oh, Nigeria go survive. Nigeria go survive. Africa go survive. My people go survive, oh, Nigeria go survive. Nigeria go survive. Africa go survive. My people go survive, oh, Nigeria go survive.
And that's our program for this Sunday. Let's keep a date next Sunday by God's grace. I am Marvelous Obonman. Good afternoon.